Every time you let it slide, you pay for it. Not with money, with your time, your peace, your voice. You hear it in the tone. They say your name like it's nothing, and you pretend you didn't notice. Here's the first move. Pause. Don't explain. Stay to the end, because I'm going to show you why people disrespect you. Not the polite reason, the real one. And the one calm step that changes the price. And near the end, you'll see what to do when they test you again. Most disrespect does not arrive as a big event. It arrives as a small habit, a repeat, a pattern that feels normal only because you've seen it before. Someone tests the edge. They watch your face. They wait for your response. And your response teaches them what the edge really is. They don't need 100 signs. They need one proof that you won't stop it. That's why disrespect patterns are so dangerous. They don't explode. They spread. At first, it's tiny. A small interruption. A casual dismissal. A joke that lands a little too sharply. A request that ignores what you already said. You feel it in your body before you label it in your mind. Your chest tightens. Your jaw locks. You get that fast urge to smooth it over. So you do what most people do. You smile. You explain. You give them an easy exit. And you call it maturity. But they read it as a discount. They learn they can take more and still keep access. Externally, the behavior keeps repeating. They cut into your sentence. They treat your time like it's flexible. They take more than they give. Then they act surprised when you look tired. Internally, it creates a quiet confusion, not just anger, doubt. You replay the moment. You wonder if you're being too sensitive. You start editing your own instincts. Be honest. How many times do you forgive the same move before you call it a pattern? And then it touches your identity. You speak with less weight. You ask for less. You start believing your standards are too much. You become careful instead of clear. This is the hidden cost. When you keep swallowing disrespect, you train yourself to swallow yourself. You start trading truth for comfort. And you do it so fast, you don't even notice. And the reason this matters is simple. People repeat what works. If pressure works, they use pressure. If disrespect works, they use disrespect. So if you keep asking why people disrespect you, stop staring at their personality. Look at what gets rewarded. Look at what has no consequence. That's where the answer lives. Now we move to action. Not a speech, not a debate, just behavior that changes the frame. The first shift is speed. Disrespect feeds on your rush, on your nervous laugh, on your quick explanation. So when they push, you slow down. 1 beat, 2 beats. You let silence show you are not startled. Then you speak once, short, clean. 1 sentence that draws the edge. Then you stop. Silence is not empty. Silence is the consequence they can feel. If your boundary needs a paragraph, it's still a request. Keep it clean. Now make this your default rhythm. Pause. 1 line. Silence. Picture this. You start a sentence and someone cuts in. You look at them and say, "Let me finish." Then you continue. They smile like you're difficult, but the room adjusts. Notice what you did. You didn't apologize. You didn't justify. You didn't speed up to earn permission to speak. That is the second shift. You stop chasing the room. You make the room meet your standard. After that, watch what happens. They will test again. Not because they hate you, because they want to see if you meant it. So the next step is consistency. Same pace, same tone, same line. Picture this. Someone throws a joke at your expense and waits for laughter. You hold still and say, That's not acceptable. Then you return to neutral. Silence hits, and they look away. That is what enforcement looks like. No performance, no anger, just a closed door. Now the third shift. If the pattern repeats, you remove access, not in a dramatic way, in a practical way. You give less time, less availability, less effort. You respond later. You stop volunteering. You stop rescuing the mood. Because access is what the disrespect was buying. Picture this. After they dismiss you, they come back asking for a favor. You say, "I'm not available for that," and you go quiet. Now they call you different because the discount ended. Here is a rule of human behavior. When you raise the price, cheap buyers complain. They may act confused. They may say you changed. What they mean is you stopped being easy. And this is where most people panic. They feel guilt. They feel fear of losing something, so they drop the boundary to restore comfort. Don't do that. Let the discomfort sit where it belongs. You don't need them to agree. You need them to adjust. Now we reach the real consequence. Disrespect does not stay at one level. If it works, it escalates. They push more. They ask for more. They respect you less. Not because they are powerful, because you trained them. There is no cost, and the cost shows up in your life in ways you don't see at first. You stop saying what you mean. You start negotiating your needs. You start living as if you must earn basic consideration. You begin to feel like a guest in your own life. So listen closely. What you allow becomes your price, and people always pay the lowest one. That is why people disrespect you. They are not guessing. They are reading your standards. If you don't change the price, you will keep paying. With your peace, with your self-respect, with the slow shrinking of your presence. Now imagine two futures. In the first, you keep letting it slide. You keep explaining. You keep trying to be the easy one. And time passes. You get good at swallowing things. You get good at pretending. You get good at being fine. You are present, but not felt. Useful, but not valued. Because you never made the pattern expensive. In the second, you become simple. You pause before you answer. You use one clean line. And if disrespect patterns repeat, you remove access. Some people adjust. Some disappear. Both outcomes are true. Because the wrong people can't afford clarity. And here is the calm ending. Respect is not chased. It is priced.